Hi, this is Tony Caruso, and today I'm going to show you some features of the ISB RBPC press control package. The area that I'm going to focus in on today is the way to initiate a machine cycle. So we're going to discuss the method of initiation, whether it's foot switch, pound button, how to select it using the soft key arrangement that the RBPC is designed with. I'm also going to show you how to select the mode of operation, such as inch, single stroke, and continuous, as well as a few special features, such as press lead feed and feed lead press. And I'm also going to show you how to optionally use a hard key to select inch, single stroke, and continuous. Although most people like the soft key arrangement, it adds a level of sophistication to the product as well as flexibility. There are still some people that like the hard key, so we did allow provisions in the design for that, and I'll show you how to do that. So let me begin by first looking at the base unit itself. We're going to focus in on this part right here. The rest of this is my demonstrator, and I thought it would be easier to use this than being on a noisy press room floor to try to show you this. So we're going to focus in on the RBPC. The operator has a key for run, off, and program. So this is the first level of security. The operator has a certain number of functions that he or she can use with the hard key option, and the manual goes through the details of what items you can access through the run program key, as well as there are supervisor and setup levels of security that require a password. And we're going to be actually configuring this unit, so we will actually be going into that area as well. But to keep things simple, for the operator point of view, when they want to change the mode of operation or the method of initiation, they simply put the switch in the program mode. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on the keypad arrangement, and they're going to use the mode key. Press it once, and you can see this operating mode there. And you can scroll up to single, inch, come back the other way using the up-down keys, continuous. There's a few more hidden screens that are not often used, but they're here, such as maintain continuous, auto single stroke, and timed inch. I'm going to go back the other way now, and you can see it's very simple. And whenever you go to a mode that you want, in this case let's go to inch, you simply press the enter key and inch was selected. Okay, and you can see on the press control screen, press control will show strokes per minute, the crankshaft angle, the operating mode is inch, the actuating mode is P1 or pound button 1, and the cycling right now is disabled. So if I want to go back in and change it to single stroke, you simply press the mode key once and move it to single, press enter, and it's that simple. Okay. Now if you want to change from a pound button to a foot switch or to a different pound button station, you hit the mode key once and twice. And now you're into the actuating mode area. And the area I'm going to focus on today is the hand and or foot area. That's the most popular. So the cursor right now is on hand and or foot, and you press enter. And you can see Palm Station 1 has a Y next to it, or yes, you're using it. Palm Station 2 has an N next to it, or no, you're not using it. And the same thing applies to foot switches 1 and 2. Both of them have an N next to them, which means they're not being used. So now, if you move your cursor over, if you want to turn on a second pound button station, you would move the cursor to Palm Station 2 and use the up key to make that a yes as well, or back to a no. Move over to the right, foot switch 1, yes, no. So what I'm showing you here is, instead of spending a lot of time installing this unit and then wiring a whole bunch of hard keys, selector switches, and rewiring them with contact blocks in order to activate which pound button is on and which pound button is off, we've made it very simple. We have dedicated input on the back of this device that you can wire your palm buttons and foot switches into, and then you would use the soft key to select which one you want. Now, for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to just leave Palm Station 1 on so that I can actually simulate operation. All this is, of course, still supervisory controlled by the key switch that the operator would keep in the program mode to make the changes, and then they would put into the run mode in order to actually run production on the machine. So I'm going to, again, focusing on the keypad, I'm going to find the mode key. Actually, I'm going to exit out first. I'm going to find the mode key at once, and there you go, twice. So you can see, you can toggle back to press control. Once is the operating, 2 is the actuating. Not complicated, not intimidating. Operator within a few hours or days of using this product will be very, very simple for them. Now, if there's an application where the customer says, or the operator just wants a hard key, you can modify this installation by wiring the hard key for inch single continuous. And by the way, on my demonstrator, I happen to have a hard key for that function. I'm going to actually show you what needs to be done in order to convert to a hard key. So, the first thing is you follow the wiring diagram and you wire the hard key contacts to die protection channels 1, 2, and 3. The device has 4 built-in die protection channels from the factory, and you can always add 21 more, so you have plenty of options for die protection. But if you want to use the hard key, you are going to sacrifice die protection channels 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so first thing you do is wire the contact blocks of the hard key to the die protection channels as shown on the wiring diagram. And once you've done that, it's not going to know that those are hard key commands until you configure the unit. And to configure the unit is quite easy to do. But this is not something we would allow anybody to do, so you're going to need to either be the supervisor or the setup man in order to be able to do this function. So what you first do is you put the key in the program mode, and let's focus in on the unit again. You go to your exit key, press it once. I'm sorry, let's put this in the... Let me do it again. And now when you do that, it'll go into the supervisor or setup man level. These are the user levels for security reasons. The way this demo is set up, supervisor levels is number 1, and I set it up with a password of default value of all ones. This is the way the unit leaves the factory as well. And then you would scroll into your menu arrangement, and I'm going to zoom in a little more on the keypad, and scroll down until you find a screen called Optional Die Protection Settings, and press the Enter key. Now, the Optional Die Protection Settings screen gives you 3 selections: die protection, and you can use the scroll key; external valve feedback, that would be used if you had a hydraulically actuated clutch and you had poppets in the hydraulic valve that needed to be monitored from a control reliability point of view. There is another function for the die protection channels to do that as well, but in this case we're going to focus on the operator's mode selector. So as soon as I move the cursor down to that, I press the Enter key. And it now says that inputs 1 and 3 through 3 will be used for the hard key. And it automatically goes back to that screen. You can now exit the unit. You've now told the unit through the supervisor menu that you want to use the hard key. So we'll go back to our press control function, and we'll put the key back into the run mode. And right now, you'll notice it says operating mode is continuous. Well, it just happens to be that the hard key that I have on this unit is in the continuous mode right now. And I'm going to show you as I put the hard key first of all in the switch. And as I flip the switch from continuous, you watch the display, single stroke, inch, single stroke, continuous. So I've just shown you, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more now and continue to flip the switch. You could see that the display no longer is needed to select the mode of operation. Instead, the hard key is doing it. Okay? And I'm going to leave it in the single stroke mode, and I'm going to actually simulate running this machine a bit by using my demonstrator and following the prompts. So it's saying press reset to work. So I'm going to press the reset function. Oops, sorry. Then I'm going to exercise the light curtain. I have a push button here to simulate that. Bear with me, I'm just changing my view here a bit. And then I'm going to actually follow the prompts. I'm waiting for the palm stations. And you can actually see now, exercise the light curtain. You can just see there's a motorized device here with a resolver attached to it with a timing belt, and I'm actually simulating the operation of the machine. And if I want to go into the continuous mode, again, I move the switch to continuous. It's now saying the operating mode is continuous on the screen. It's asking me to exercise the light curtain. It's asking me to hit the prior act button, which is a ANSI and OSHA requirement for continuous. It's asking me to release it, and now it's awaiting the pound buttons, and I'm going to press it in. Oops, I've talked too long here, and I'm going to press it in. You have 5 seconds, and then hold the buttons for a couple strokes, and now we're simulating the machine running in the continuous mode of operation. And I'm going to top stop it, and it's off. So this short instructional video should make it easy if you ever want to convert your unit to a hard key option. Thank you.